We've got another bare bones Crunchyroll release. It's dressed up in a steelbook to try to pretend it has value with Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom, or as the cover calls it, Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom feature film. It's morphin' time! Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to another review of another Crunchyroll Gundam release where I don't have a lot positive to say about it, but I also don't have a ton negative to say about it. This is, the best way to put it, expectedly disappointing? We'll go into it, but if you enjoy these videos, be sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe and notification bell, plus the hype button down below. This release also features one of the most baffling menus I've seen in my entire life. And you probably think, oh, they've seen some terrible ones. We'll get to that. So let's talk about this release in general, because Gundam Seed Freedom came out quite a while ago. It's been a hot minute since Seed Freedom released. Because the film itself released in Japan in January of 2024. I'm recording this in April 2026. And it was released in US theaters through Fathom Events in May of 2024. So we've essentially been waiting 2 whole years for this to come to physical media. The Japanese physical media release of the movie did take a while to come out in comparison to normal. It took almost the entirety of 2024 because the film was re-released in Japanese theaters with new animation cuts to kind of clean up some of the weaker animation after the movie made, like, you know, huge success and was the best box office for a Gundam movie. They had some money. They went back and cleaned some stuff up. So the Japanese Blu-ray waited for those new animation cuts to come in before they re-released it onto home video. As you can see, I do have the Japanese Blu-ray because this was taking so long. I thought I should go get myself the Japanese Blu-ray since the Japanese Blu-ray does have English subtitles. It does not have the English dub, hence why we're here. So the thing is, this has been coming for a long time. And then by the time it finally got announced, Crunchyroll announced it's going to be a 4K only release on a steelbook. That's it. Like, that's it. And I do mean that's it. There's nothing else. There's also some weirdness with the whole experience. But, man, not even the interior of the steelbook is giving off the energy that anybody involved gave a damn. I don't like to ever say that something's lazy because putting out any disc release does take an amount of work that is not insignificant. But Gundam is one of the bigger anime properties in the world, and Crunchyroll's handling of it has been a complete trash fire ever since the acquisition of Right Stuff. Nothing's in print right now outside of this, and then, like, you know, this is insanely bare bones. It came with a little cardboard sleeve because I guess the cardboard sleeves confuse me sometimes. I'm like, okay, yeah, you get the cardboard sleeve, which on the back will tell you basically what's included, which is the movie, and then it just has this extra banner to say the logo again. And I'm also just very confused by the moniker of Gundam Seed Freedom feature film. I did, you know, make fun of this in the title, like Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom, you know, that's the logo, but they did that on the Gundam Seed and Seed Destiny logos. That's not weird. Why does it just say Gundam Seed Freedom feature film? You don't have to delineate it from anything else. There is no other Gundam Seed Freedom. It's just the feature film, and I guess the special edition release of the feature film. And then you get, like, generic block text on the spine. And you're like, oh, that's some neat artwork. Where'd they pull that from? You know, the Japanese Blu-ray. They added the logo, but that's basically the same exact art. I guess also the same exact generic text, too, as the special edition box set. So that's pretty neat. Before we get too far in, I mean, there's the disc. Let's just go take a look at the disc. Because there's, one more thing before we look at the disc, actually. Sorry. Almost forgot about this, because this is bizarre. So region codes usually just tell you the region code of the disc you're on, right? So it says 4K, A, B, and C, all region, because, of course, 4K discs aren't region locked. And then it says Blu-ray, region A. What Blu-ray? Why are you putting a Blu-ray region code on a 4K disc that does not play in a Blu-ray player that's not a 4K player, and there's no Blu-ray included? Why is that there? For more baffling decisions, let's cut to the disc itself. So I know you saw the title of the video, and you've probably been waiting to see, what is this menu? Could it be that bad? And we will get there, but there's a couple interesting things to note here. Obviously, you have your normal, you know, anti-piracy warnings. naturally, you know, laws and stuff. Good to keep track of. This is a brand new Crunchyroll logo, though. I hadn't seen before, but then again, I don't buy that many Crunchyroll releases. But there was a very interesting thing I saw after this that I did want to highlight, which, see if I can pause it. I can pause it. It says, in accordance with the wishes of our licensors, subtitles must be displayed when playing the original Japanese audio track. We appreciate your understanding as we strive to preserve the artistic integrity of all our properties and provide the highest quality experience for our viewers. So this is very interesting because I don't know this is common. Again, I don't buy that much Crunchyroll releases. But it's interesting they do just straight up tell you, yeah, your subtitles are locked when you're in the Japanese audio because of our licensors' wishes. The thing I find funny is the artistic integrity part. Yeah, sure, okay. Provide the highest quality experience for our viewers. I'm not exactly sure how truthful that statement is because I'm going to hit play and we're going to load into the menu for the movie, which is fun, right? We're going to see what this menu looks like. So here we go. There it is. Okay, so on the surface, you're probably like, what's the big deal, right? Doesn't seem like there's anything that wrong with it. Well, okay, let's go through the checklist. So first of all, generic image, promotional art from the movie. It has that same annoying tag of Gundam Seed Freedom feature film. It also, you know, has some copyright text, and it has play movie, scene selection, setup. Yes, there is absolutely no bonus features. None whatsoever. You play movie, scene selection, and setup. So here's the thing I want to point out. You're probably wondering, which thing are you highlighted on? I'd like to know as well, because for some reason, instead of having a large contrasting color to the text, so you know that you're highlighting play movie or scene selection or setup, they have chosen to use essentially the same color as the text. It may be a couple shades slightly different. I can kind of tweak my TV settings, the HDR output. This is my setting that works well with 4K discs. You can't tell. Switch over to custom. I can see a very slight color difference there. If I go to standard, it slightly shows up. If I go to vivid, then you can see that it's blue. It is so light that if you, and also on vivid, it's like the wrong thing. It's got motion smoothing on, all right? That's one of the stock standards. Cinema Pro is my tweaked for 4K output, which this is a 4K disc, right? And yes, when it's properly tuned to the colors of how the movie should look, you can't tell that I'm pushing the button along. It is impossible to tell what you're on if you have the colors tweaked on your TV to match what the movie is. That is potential for the worst menu of all time because there are a million colors out there. You can do so many shades of colors that you can make it obvious and readable and legible no matter what color tone you have the TV on. Only one of my TV's color settings will let me see that there is a slightly different color tone. And even then, I don't even know if it's going to come through on the camera. I'm going to hit this, I'm on setup. I don't even know how I got to setup. You have to count. You have to count like it's the Japanese Blu-ray where you don't know Japanese and you just have to remember where things are. Okay, so what are our audio options? We got Dolby True HD English 5.1. We got Dolby Atmos Japanese 5.1.2, Dolby True HD 5.1 Japanese, and then subtitles on and off. The subtitles on and off, you can only switch it on. You can switch it on for the English, or you can switch it off for the English, but you can't turn it off if you're on the Japanese. Now, of course, you can see subtitles on and off. These subtitles match the Japanese audio as close as they can. They're not dub titles, so that is nice. But that also means we don't have English closed captioning for the English dub. And then if you want to select that X over there, you're going to have to figure out if you're there. I apparently wasn't on that. Okay, so scene selection. Can we get to scene selection? Nope, we're still on setup. How am I supposed to navigate this menu like this? Scene selection. Okay, so scene selection here. We've got multiple chapters. There is quite a few. There's 15 in total. That's down from the Japanese release where there's 29. So it's about half. Let's take a look at a clip from the movie. So obviously you're seeing this through a camera onto a TV. Video quality is great. Audio quality is solid. English dub sounds good, which is kind of my reason for buying this. It's a solid disc. I mean, it's the movie. It's on disc. It's got the right audio. Doesn't seem to be any screw-ups there. No weird tint issues. It's just That's all you get. You get the movie and nothing else. Let's check out the subtitles. Oh, you know what? Instead of going all the way back to the top menu, let's press the pop-up menu. The pop-up menu has proper color separation. I didn't change the color tone on my TV. The top menu, just go back to that. The top menu is basically unreadable because they chose such a light color that it blends in. But if you actually hit play movie and you're in the movie itself and you're like, okay, let me change my settings, the pop-up menu, let me get my hand out of the way so the color tone can adjust. Wow, you can't see it on the thing. You can see it on here. Let's see. If I zoom in, can it readjust? There we go. Yeah, see? That is proper color tone changing the tone. You can tell where you are to select what you want. Why, oh why, was that not the case on the main menu? Why is it only on the pop-up menu? So here's what the subtitles look like. They're white font text. They cover the screen. That's the translation used. Let's go check out what the Japanese Blu-ray used for its translation. So here's an example of the subtitle work done on the Japanese Blu-ray as a comparison to the Crunchyroll. Since it did have the English subtitles, it did not have the English dub, but it did have English subtitles for the Japanese audio. So that's what those look like on the Japanese release. The answer is no song lyrics. For anyone who's seen the movie, you know the opening scene has the entire Freedom song sung. No song lyrics on screen. No song lyrics on the end credits as well. But there are a separate chapter marker for English credits, so you can get the voice cast for the English dub and all the English production credits there. So to give this disc a compliment, it actually does include the reanimated segments of the film, because in Japan, the movie came out, big box office success, the movie gets re-released in Japan, and then they put in some new animation, they tweaked some scenes. So this is using the version with the tweaked animation that makes a few shots that looked wonky look a lot better. This is in contrast to the version on Netflix, which used the original theatrical takes of some of these animation cuts. And so it's nice to see that, at least for the Crunchyroll 4K, we do have the nice reanimated versus the theatrical version. That's the one available on streaming. So that's a kind of a side-by-side. Here's a neat image I found on the Gundam Reddit that had a lot of the side-by-sides from the trailer for the re-release. But this is the shot I'm using because, first of all, it was Zagok, awesome. Second of all, it's the easiest one to find. And then for those that are wanting to compare to any other versions, that is at the 56-minute and 37-second timestamp. And that's it. That's all I got to talk about on this disc, because they did not include any bonus features whatsoever. That's it. That's all that's on here. It's just the movie and a menu that is illegible in most color tones that would be proper for a 4K output on a TV. So where do we go from here in the video? I don't know, because the menu thing tripped me up so bad. Like, I kind of can't get over, like, how incomprehensible that menu ended up becoming just because they didn't use the right color. So, yeah, in comparison to the Japanese Blu-ray, as you can imagine, since this was, like, a limited edition box set, I'm just going to show this off because that way we have something to talk about. It had multiple palettes here, multiple booklets, promotional advertisements. So it had the movie, which I showed did have some of the bonus features. We do have 2 special features discs. These aren't subtitled, but they have stuff on them, plus an audio drama CD with the characters and the cast doing the audio drama. And there's like all that cool artwork. There's all this stuff. There's promotional pamphlets. There's an animation booklet, which doesn't have any text in it. Crunchyroll could have, like, I don't know, reprinted that, thrown it in with the Steelbook. Here's a book that has a lot of text because it's the side story novels. But still, it's just like, there was stuff they could do, and I have seen Crunchyroll in the past, you know, pull out bonus features that were on the Japanese release, and then, you know, put them on this, subtitled. What I'm kind of coming to the conclusion of is, I don't know who this is for. If you're a big Seed Freedom fan that really wants the English dub, then yeah, this is for you. If you're a big Seed Freedom fan that wants value in your release, honestly, go pick up the Japanese Blu-ray and get some bonus material, even if you don't have subtitles for it. The bummer part about this is that this is the only release we're getting in North America, and it just exists. I mean, it's nice that it exists, and I feel like I'm complaining when, You know, we don't, there's a lot of things we don't get. Like I could make a list of Gundam things we don't have on Blu-ray that have come out. You know, like where's our G-Quux Blu-ray, right? But, you know, it's just sometimes it's like the effort is so low that I don't really want to recommend it, because on one hand, yeah, you get Gundam Seed Freedom on 4K. It plays the movie fine. But it also is just telling Crunchyroll, you can just do the absolute bare minimum, not even make a legible menu, and we'll accept it and pay you money because we have no other options. And I guess that depressing fact is kind of where I sit with this release. If you're someone that's collecting every single Gundam Blu-ray and you have a completion collection going on, by all means pick it up. If you're a big Seed fan that wants the movie on 4K with the English dub and the Japanese version, there's a Japanese 4K as well. If you don't care about the English dub, Japanese 4K at least has some extra stuff on it. Other than that, not really much to recommend. And you know what's the worst part too? And this is coming from somebody that's, you know, I like Seed. I guess, you know, I didn't talk about the movie itself. I enjoyed this movie. I saw it in theaters. I had a good time. I like Seed, but I don't love Seed. And yet this release underwhelms me as someone who's just a casual Seed person. You know, I'm somebody, I watched Seed, you know, a couple times. I've only seen Destiny once. The part that makes me so sad, and is just a perfect visual for what happened to Gundam Blu-rays in recent times, is here's the Seed Destiny and Seed sets that Right Stuff put out. I don't know how to not feel sad looking at this, because in the time it took for this movie to come out, which wasn't that long from when these came out, you know, there was also standard releases. These are the Ultra Editions. But, like, we went from, you know, Seed Collector's Edition from Right Stuff had the HD and the SD versions of the show. Old dub, new dub. It had, like, the TV special compilations. And then you got, like, a full-size art book. That's, like, the size of a normal art book. And then Seed Destiny, which is not even that well loved, and like most people don't enjoy it that much, got a full-size art book. It got HD and SD, it got, you know, the special edition collections. Both of these had brand new English dubs, and they threw Stargazer in. And then for Seed Freedom, you get the movie on one disc format without even English closed captioning. And if your TV does not like the colors, you can't even read the menu. It's just a bummer how we went from this to just this. And I don't really want to feel happy about having this when it's Gundam, you know? And it's a movie that was fairly successful. Some slight modicum of budget and effort would have been nice to have seen. But instead, bare minimum, yet again. So before I wrap up, I do want to say that anyone that works at Crunchyroll that worked on this release, know that I'm not blaming you for any of the things that I'm disappointed about with this set, because I know that pretty much everything is out of your hands, and it's up to the corporate overlords who decide that bare minimum stuff is what the consumers want. It's not anybody that works at Crunchyroll's fault. It's the people above that make the decisions that never have to face the consequences of their own actions. So if you enjoyed the mad ramblings of a Gundam fan who's just a little bit tired, hit the like button, hit the subscribe and notification bell, leave any comments down below, but don't leave comments about, oh, you should watch the movie in vivid color. No. I know what settings should be right on a TV. I am a film major who has experience, and also experience in lighting. And I gotta tell you that a lot of the default settings on TVs is why people think stuff looks really bad, because like there are some film and TV productions that look terrible just by nature, but there's a lot of things where people complain about it online, and then I look at it on my TV and I'm like, it looks good, because a lot of TVs' default settings suck. And if the menu is only visible on a default setting, that's where my problem is. If you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server. You can find that link in the description below. You can also join as a channel member, and at certain tiers, you can get perks like early access to videos and special shoutouts. Let's give some special shoutouts to some of our channel members. Special shout out to all of our channel members, including these Captain Tier members: Adam Lasari, Adonis, Alex Wario 94 Ashburn, Grateful Dead 7836, Q Rodriguez, Common Pikachu, Salvatore, Jamie's World, Ellen Retro, Swine-Ass Terumo, KRSSPR103, and Brian Woodruff. Thank you all for your support of this channel, viewers and channel members alike. If you so wish, I'm on social media on Blue Sky and Letterboxd at Soundout12. You can also find my wonderful graphic designer on social media and Discord at DarkClaw643. You can find Hero Club at hero-club.com for interviews and more. Until next time, this is Soundout saying, hope the next release is better in, I don't know, 3 to 5 years when they make G-Quux.